This is why most coaches or personal trainers really struggle to grow their business. I have a lot of friends in this space, and I realize that most of them struggle to grow because of this reason. So as a trainer or coach, you need money. Sure, you do it for your passion, but ultimately, it's also a business. So in order to get more money, you need to get more clients. And as you get more clients, you start to get progressively more busy. And as you become more busy, you start to become burnt out. And then because you're getting burnt out, your ability to produce more money starts to stall. And that's where at that point, it makes it really, really hard for you to continue to scale. So at this point, you still probably need more money because you got to pay your bills. So someone's going to come along and they're going to say, hey, all you need is more leads. But if you get more leads and you get more clients, you're just going to become more busy and you're still not going to make more money. So here's what you should do instead. You need to understand that once you start to get really busy, that is an opportunity to work on your systems. All right, so what is the goal of your systems? Your goal of your system is to produce better results for more people with less work. That is the goal. Now there's a couple of different models. So here are the 3 different models. You can have the one-to-one coaching. You can have the community style coaching, so group coaching. Or you can have the hybrid model, where you're doing pretty much both. And you have to ask yourself, what are the things that I need in this type of system for this to be successful? Okay, so at this step, you have to ask yourself, who are you coaching? All right, who are you coaching? And the answer is humans. All right, and they all have the same problems. Everyone's trying to lose weight or trying to get stronger. They need to exercise and they need nutrition. You don't need to overcomplicate this, all right? So because you're coaching humans and you have a certain type of archetype in your population, if you're doing CrossFit training, sure, do CrossFit training. If you're doing home gym stuff, do home gym stuff. If you're doing bodybuilding training, do bodybuilding stuff. But the reality is you need workout programs for these different types of people that are going to come into your program. All right. So with my system, I have home gym. I have body weight exercises. I have bodybuilding, men and women workouts. I even have some running workouts for some people that want to do a 5K. And then for people that like more CrossFit style stuff, I have CrossFit style training. All right. So now we already have our programs. So now when someone comes into our system, rather than us completely rebuilding it from scratch, we have a foundation plus customization. And if you're like a physical therapist or someone like that, you can do the same thing, except now you're going to do it for different types of the most common injuries. So knee injuries, shoulder, back, hip, right? It's pretty much the major things you're going to deal with. So you want to have protocols for all of those in place as the foundation. The way I have it, because I'm a physical medicine and rehab doctor, I combine these two. So I have my foundational workout routines and then my modified customizations based on whatever the injury or weaknesses are. And then at some point, you probably want to have like some functional screen in there. All right, so you have all these stuff built out. Now you have to ask yourself, What about the nutrition? How am I going to coach nutrition? Good question. So depending on the different types of styles that you have, say you're someone that, if you want to do the whole vegan thing, sure, you can have all your vegan stuff. But the way I do it is I have different eating patterns for different types of people. So I have vegan, keto, carnivore, because everyone has their own thing. I have general. And then I also have a little bit more of a mixed. And all of these things, people are going to have an ability to log their food. And they can either do that with a calculator, a calorie calculator. There's things like, there's so many different things, MyFitnessPal, all those different things. Or they do a food journal. Food journal. Okay, which is very convenient. So you have all of these different meal plans already pre-templated. And then from there, you can also, on top of that, allow them to use that as examples, but based on what they want to do, based on what they're logging. So if I say that, hey, you're going to get a certain amount of calories that you want to stay within this ballpark, log the foods, use some of these meal plans as examples, that's great. If you want to do custom meal plans, you can do that as well. I still do that. I essentially ask, what are your 3 favorite proteins? 3 favorite carbs? And then fat sources. Based on their weight and their goals, then I'll create a custom meal plan. But what I realize, no one ever follows these things. All right. So it's better to kind of just, depending on what style you're doing. So if you're doing more like bodybuilding coaching, these people follow their meal plans a little bit better. But if you're doing more general public, I would say give them parameters and then give them examples and then let them kind of build it from there. Okay. You're really trying to raise their nutritional IQ. You're not necessarily trying to spoon feed or baby them the whole way, because it's better to teach them how to fish than them making you feel like you're their parent that gets mad at them every time that they do something wrong. Right. I know you guys didn't think I was going there, but that's kind of how sometimes these relationships can be formed. All right. So you have the nutrition set in place. You also have your workout set in place. Now you need to find a way to hold these people accountable. So let's go to that. Now you need accountability. All right. So how do you build accountability? You need to have weekly check-ins of some sort. It could be weekly, it could be bi-weekly. You also need to have, and what are going to be in these check-ins? So you got weight, you have pictures, you have habits, sleep, recovery, and obstacles. All right, so all these parameters, you need to try to find some information, because that's going to allow you to help them be aware of what things are impacting their fitness goals. So accountability can be built out through weekly check-ins. Another way that you can build out accountability is through community. So weekly challenges, having awards. So like the app that I use, when someone logs a workout, it allows them to like share it to social media, which can help motivate other people and also motivate themselves. So those are a couple of different ways. You can also do a forum. And then you also have to have communication. All right, so you can, once or twice a week, you can reach out to them, ask them how things are going, send them a pep talk. Every Monday, I send a motivational message out to everybody. And then every Wednesday or Thursday, I might check in on them and see how they're doing. So I have all these things built out. All right, so now you have your accountability, you have your nutrition, and then you also have your fitness program, okay? And ideally, you want to have all this stuff in the same system, right? And you want to automate as much of it as possible so that way you can focus on getting them results and growing your business. So how do you find the right system for this? You want to make sure the system has all these components, has the ability to do your nutrition, has the ability to have a bunch of workouts, and has the ability for community and communication. Right? If your system doesn't have all these things, someone else's system does. And you have to ask yourself, when you look at the top people in this space, so the people that are doing probably the most volume, they typically have a community. They have lower ticket products that are cheaper than yours, even probably just as good. And they're giving away nutrition and they're giving away workouts. So start with the end in mind. What do you want to get to? These are things you want to make sure that you're trying to build towards. Otherwise, you're going to get burnt out because you're not growing, you're not scaling, right? So if you're able to find a system that puts all this together, good for you. There's lots of different systems out there. I've tried so many of them. The one that I recommend right now is called Everfit. And the reason why I recommend it is because it allows this whole process to be seamless. People literally go through this process where they buy the program, onboard. I can't spell today. Then once they get onboarded, they're going to fill out a form. And once they fill out a form, they have access to a library of all my different workouts. I have over 15 to 20 workouts. And they can choose whichever one they want. So I have that. They also get assigned to over 20 different meal plans. And obviously I give them recommendations and training to teach them how to choose which one. And I have access to places where they can get resources like lab work. And if they want treatment and from like medical weight loss, I have trusted providers that they can reach out to. And all of my training is also there as well. Training. And it allows me to have a community with a leaderboard for extra accountability. And it has in-app messaging that I can turn on or turn off depending on the client. Right. So it has all these different components all in one spot. And rather than me like frantically trying to bring on more clients, I can focus on building the best product, getting it all nice and beautiful and set up. And then from there, in order to get people there, they can try a free trial. And they can see if it's for them. Because the reality is, it's not for everybody. Now, some people need someone in the gym to show them how to do everything because they're not maybe self-motivated enough, or they're so unfamiliar with the gym that they kind of need to get their bearings before they can go to online training. But that's fine. But they can come in as free trial. So once your whole system is built up, now we need to figure out how we need to get people to pay you, or how do we even get them to that point. So that's where you need to understand your marketing system. So now we have the business system. Now we're going to do marketing system. All right. People struggle with this a lot because I feel like they're not willing to adapt and learn new strategies. So I'm going to make it super simple for you. And I'm going to give you some techniques that a lot of people aren't talking about. But one of the best techniques to grow your fitness and coaching program, once you have fitness software, is to show off software as client. Just make tons of content showing the benefits training through your program. Record yourself at the gym saying, hey, this is how I stay in shape as a busy blank. I go to the gym, I log on to my whatever my name of, so my app is called Blade Fitness app, and then I look at the workout for today, and then I get to work. Those types of videos are going to be like, oh, this is, and you just pretty much do it every day. Every day you go work out, you literally just show off software as if you were a client. Okay, so that's one. So what are the features you want to show off? You want to show off the feature of your workouts. You want to show off the feature of your nutrition. And you also want to talk about why it's difficult to go to the gym without a workout program, because you're going to talk about people winging it. You can also talk about your own personal journey, like how you used to struggle, but now this is how you're able to stay on track. And then you're going to also once a week have some testimonials that you talk about. This is how I helped this client accomplish this result. All right. So you have those ideas, and then you can kind of just continue to expand on that. And then from there, you need to understand how to get attention. In order to get attention, you need to learn how to hook. What the hell is that? Is that a banana? Can't draw a hook. All right, we're gonna try that again. All right. Yeah. Good enough. All right. You need to learn how to hook people. All right. So what is a hook? So a hook is essentially either a visual or audio visual technique to get people to pay attention to your content. So at the beginning of this video, I said something like, this is why most coaches struggle to grow their business. That was a hook. I did it on purpose, right? Because I'm calling out to my ideal client who I want to pay attention to me, and I can go overboard and do something visual to make you really pay attention to me. So you need to find ways to hook people. So inside of my coaching, I give you over 40 plus hooks. It might be 100 by the time you do this, but I give you top 40 hooks. And what I want you to do is experiment with these. Try different ones and use it as just a template. Obviously, you want to be creative. And along with that, you want to study your competitors. So inside the training, I also teach you how to go look at your competitors. All right, because once you're able to hook people, you're able to study your competitors or see what's doing well for them, then you're going to be in a good spot, because there's enough room out there for everybody. There's so many people that need our services. You just have to find ways to channel and reach out to them. And one thing I forgot to mention, let's kind of come back here, is being visual. Like visually showing how people are making mistakes and how people can transition is so helpful. So like whenever you see those videos where people say, this is how much sugar is inside of a can of soda, that visualization really polarizes and connects with people. Like, damn, I didn't know I would never drink that much sugar, but I am, right? So trying to find visual ways, and also cooking, showing people recipes, rather than don't talk. Well, you could talk. Like I do a lot of talking videos. Talking is fine, but it's not as good as showing them, right? You going through a workout and talking while you were doing a workout is much better than you just saying, here's what I trained today, right? So showing them how you're making your food is going to do better. It's going to lead to more shares and more saves. They might not actually end up doing anything, but it allows people to connect with you more, because they're getting into, people are just nosy, you know, they just want to like watch your life and try to get to know and get close to you. So all those things are beautiful as well. So top 40 hooks that are going to be helpful for you. Study your competitors, and then you're going to be in a good spot as well. And now here is something else. So you've done all that stuff. You're starting to create content, but how do you but you don't want to live on the internet, right? You want to be able to automate some of the marketing part of this so that way you don't get burnt out. So how are you going to do that? So automation is important. So there's a couple different ways of doing this. This is December 17th, 2024. Things will change, but a couple of different strategies that are working very well right now is you have, say we're on Instagram, because we have to talk about different things. So we have stories, we have reels, we have carousels. Okay. And in all of these different components, the goal is to get more eyeballs. And then once you get more eyeballs, oftentimes the best way to get people to share your content and also to engage with you is through free stuff. Give them a sample, right? So what free stuff? So these are called lead magnets. Really testing my design skills today. Lead magnets. So what are some highly attractive lead magnets? So some people used to like to give away recipes, but the stuff that's popping right now is like a calorie calculator, because everyone wants to calculate the calories. Free workout template. Free training. So say you're someone that's really catering to a specific niche, like women that have PCOS or men with low testosterone, you create a free training on that so they get to know, like, and trust you. And then you can also do something like a free trial of your platform. And then you can also do like a body type quiz or something, right? So these are all different strategies. You could use a lot of different ones. That's great. And what you want to do is now automate delivery. So let's scroll down here. So how are you going to automate the delivery? So we're still on Instagram. There is something that's called a DM. So we're still on Instagram. So on Instagram, you can do a DM automation. All right. This is where someone will do something specific. It could be commenting a specific word, or using a specific emoji, or even just responding to your stories. But what it's going to do is you provide a call to action. So you're going to tell someone to take a specific action in order to receive your free thing, right? That is how this is going to work. So there's many different platforms that you can use to set this up, but we like to use ManyChat, or we use another system called Dr. Leadflow, which is essentially the engine that I built around my Blade Fitness business, which is just essentially a white labeled version of another platform, which is called Go High Level, right? Which can do some of the stuff ManyChat can do. ManyChat is a lot simpler to use. And if I was getting started and I was really, really in tune with all this stuff, I would probably do my system because it's just more robust. But starting off, ManyChat is perfectly fine. So now you've done all these things. You're able to automatically give people their free stuff. You're able to have your foundation and support all the clients, but you're going to need something in the middle in order to take payments and in order to book appointments if you're still doing one-on-one coaching. So how do we deal with that? All right, so we've done all those things. Now we need to take payments and appointments. Okay, so if you're going to take payments, you can do it through your training program. I've used ThriveCart when I was doing more one-on-one coaching. It's a good platform. If you have a separate payment processor from your training platform, you can use something like Zapier. to link everything together. And then when it comes to appointments, a lot of people in the past have used Calendly. I mean, they're still using it, or Schedule Once. These are things I used to use in the past. I don't know what I have to say. Not a lot of people. But what I use right now is called Dr. Leadflow, which is my software. And that's how I deal with scheduling appointments. That's how I do a lot of these automations. So for me, instead of me having a million softwares, I have two. I have training. I use Everfit. Marketing. I use Dr. Leadflow. All right. And if you'd like a trial of that, it's somewhere around this video down below it or something, you can actually trial it out for a week. See if you like it. We can even help you set it up for you, so that way you can have everything running. Because one thing I did not mention is you're going to probably need a website, right? So Dr. Leadflow is going to deal with your website. It's going to allow you to support all your conversations. So say you have conversations on Facebook, Instagram, text, conversations all in one spot. All those DM automations, it can help you do that. If you're going to really step up your game, you're going to want to make sure you're doing email sequences, and it will help you do that. So I have a really long nurture sequence where I'm giving value all the time, just teaching people how to be healthy, giving them resources and all that fun stuff. You want to make sure you have that set up. So you have your email sequences. You can even have the ability to have AI assistants to help sell your products, to sell or book calls. And it can take payments. And it can do reviews. All right. So it has all those components and it's all in one spot. So you can jank everything together, perfectly fine. That's what you want to do. Or you can have a system that has all of it in one place, which is typically going to end up being cheaper. And once you master that system, you're going to be in a much better spot.